Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and you are watching TTV News with some latest events in Tay Ninh province. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, in the afternoon of April 4, 2022, the Ministry of Information and Communication held an online conference to collect opinions on the guiding content and the preparation for implementation of information and communication content in the national target programs for the 2021-2025 period, chaired by Mr. Phạm Anh Tuấn, Deputy Minister of Information and Communications.
The Department of Planning and Finance presented a draft report detailing information and communication criterion in the national criteria set for new rural communes and advanced new rural areas for the 2021-2025 period. Report on the draft circular guiding the implementation of information and communication contents in the national target program on building new rural areas for the 2021-2025 period. Report on the draft circular guiding the poverty reduction sub-project on information in the national target program on building new rural areas for the 2021-2025 period. The development of plans to implement the objectives and tasks of information and communication, and a report on the implementation of information content in the National Target Program for Socio-Economic Development in ethnic minority and mountainous areas in the 2021-2025 period, guided and directed to implement by the Ministry of Information and Communications. The report contains the content of strengthening facilities for grassroots information and communication activities, objectives for commune radio stations, modernizing the commune radio system by 2025 to ensure that 100% of communes have radio stations with loudspeaker clusters to villages operating effectively. For district radio and television establishments, it should modernize technical equipment, digital production of multimedia contents. Mr. Phạm Anh Tuấn received the comments and said that the ministry will finalize the report in the coming time and at the same time suggest that localities need to study and invest in steps in the communication work to suit its local conditions. The relevant units shall coordinate to achieve high results in the implementation of information and communication content in National Target Program for the 2021-2025 period.
Also, in the afternoon of April 4, the Management Board of Tay Ninh Economic Zones held an investment registration certificate for the LOUVRE Halas fabric production project at TayNinhTV Industrial Park.
LOUVRE high-class fabric production project, invested by LOUVRE International Investments Pte. Ltd. company based in Singapore, will be deployed at lots of B18 and B19, row C4, TayNinhTV Industrial Park, An Hoa World, Trang Bang on a total area of 331,206 square meters. The project will be implemented into two phases. The first phase will focus on producing woven fabrics with a scale of 95 million square meters per year, equivalent to 16,600 tons per year. The second phase deploys the production of knitted fabrics with a scale of 95 million square meters per year, equivalent to 18,000 tons per year. The total investment capital of the project is 4,844 billion Vietnam dong, equivalent to $210 million. Speaking at the ceremony, Mr. Hà Văn Cung, head of Management Board of Tay Ninh Economic Zone, expressed his thankfulness to investor LOUVRE International Investment Singapore for choosing and deciding to invest in a production project in Tay Ninh. The Management Board of the Provincial Economic Zone commits to continue to stand side by side with the investor to support the successful implementation of the project in the coming time. It is expected that the first phase will be implemented from July 2022 and completed and put into operation from December 2023. According to the People's Committee of Trang Bang Town, currently 3 industrial parks and export processing zones in the town are operating effectively. The rate of leasing industrial land of industrial parks reaches over 86%. Trang Bang is the first locality of Tay Ninh province to develop industrial parks since 2000. After more than 20 years of developing industrial parks, the industrial production value has contributed to more than 80% of the total production value of the town. Industrial production in the area has also promoted the development of service and trade industries. For the past many years, the town's budget revenue has reached the highest level in the whole province, in which industrial production has contributed a large part. Industrial parks have also attracted and created jobs for the number of laborers that have been not yet redundant in the town. According to the project of developing a new industrial park and an expanded industrial park in the province in the period of 2021-2030 with a vision to 2050, the new industrial park is Hưng Thuận Industrial Park planned with a scale of 700 hectares located in Hưng Thuận commune Trang Bang town. The industrial park planned to be expanded is Thanh Công Industrial Park with an expanded area of 479 hectares in Hoa Phú and An Hoa West.
The Orion's custard is the approved land with the highest economic efficiency and competitiveness compared to other plants in the province. Compared with other localities where custard apple is grown, Tay Ninh custard apple is also classified as the most competitive in the country because farmers didn't have a lot of experience investing in intensive farming and apply high technology.
The total area of custard apple in Tay Ninh reaches 4,600 hectares, ranking the first place in the country, twice as much as the provinces of Lạng Sơn and Bắc Giang, with the second largest areas of growing custard apple. Custard apple in Tay Ninh is mainly grown in the area along Baden Mountain Hill on yellow brown soil, ancient alluvium and a part of gray soil, which is supplied from water source for irrigation of Yêu Tiếng Lake. According to the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, custard apple growers in Tay Ninh have many years of experience and know how to apply many new technologies. Custard apple quality is always at the top of the country. The average yield of custard apple in Tay Ninh province is 14 tons per hectare, ranking the fourth place in the country after Tiền Giang, Hải Dương, and Hải Phòng. In August 2011, the National Office of Intellectual Property decided to grant the Certificate of Geographical Indication Registration of Baden Custard Apple trademark. Right after that, the Tay Ninh Provincial People's Committee gave a policy to build the custard apple production model according to Vietgap standards. The product was accepted by the market at a much higher price, contributing to improving the income of custard apple growers. This is a great strength for the fruit industry in general and custard apple in particular in Tay Ninh province. $45 billion is the total budget which Tay Ninh will invest in developing rural industries in the period of 2022-2025. According to Mr. Nguyễn Đình Xuân, Director of the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, in the plan approved by the Provincial People's Committee, the province will reorganize production activities in rural, traditional industry and craft villages in the direction of forming linkage chains from production to product consumption. Rural association contracts under the value chain. The goal is to promote traditional values and local strength, speed up production and business development, create jobs and raise incomes for rural people, contribute to socio-economic development. In 2022, there will be 11 projects with a total cost of nearly 14 billion Vietnam dong. The remaining each year about 10 billion Vietnam dong. 4,800 workers in craft villages are supported with training along with many industrial promotion programs, trade promotion programs, festivals in tourist areas and commercial centers, building brand names, trademarks, geographical indications, meeting the requirements of OCLP products associated with tourism will also be regularly organized.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 years of implementing the National Target Program on building new style rural areas, thanks to the joint efforts and consensus of the Party Committee, the government and all classes of people, the appearance of rural areas in the province has undergone many changes. Remarkably, the system of rural roads has been adjusted, concrete and hardened.
Determining that the development of transport infrastructure is an important foundational factor to create a driving force to promote socio-economic development of the locality, contributing to the achievement of targets in new rural construction, the administrations of districts, towns and cities have directed localities to proactively mobilize concentrated capital sources for investment from the state and the capital from the people to build, repair and upgrade transport infrastructure. In 2022, Tay Ninh strives to have 6 more communes, which will complete the national target program on new rural construction. In the past years, the traffic system in these communes has been invested and built, but still not met the standard. In 2022, as implementing the new rural construction plan from the provincial budget and reciprocal capital from the people, localities have focused on investing in building socio-economic infrastructure in their areas in which capital source is mainly invested to build rural roads. In LOUVRE Commune district, currently 14 out of 19 criteria have been met. 5 criteria to strive to meet standard in 2022. As for the traffic criterion, the whole commune currently has 69 roads, most of which are still earth roads. In the rainy season, the roads are muddy, making it difficult for people to travel and transport goods. When implementing the Rural Transport Development Program with the motto, the state supports the people implement, the party committees, authorities and mass organizations in the commune have promoted propaganda and education for people to clearly understand their interests, responsibility and obligation in rural transport development, motivate, encourage and call on economic sectors, especially enterprises operating in the commune, to participate and contribute to road construction. In particular, in 2022, the commune will gather on resources on building a seamless traffic structure system. Meanwhile, in 2022, Trang Bang district is also one of 6 communes striving to complete the province national target program on building new rural areas, with a support capital of about 85 billion Vietnam dong from the National Target Program on New Rural Construction to build infrastructure works such as schools, cultural houses and roads, of which 32 traffic routes in the commune will be concreted and asphalted in this year. It can be seen that after 12 years of implementing the National Target Program on New Rural Construction, the rural transport system in the province has received attention and investment, not only to serve the needs of travel, transportation of goods and services, but also as leverage to change the face of rural areas. The new rural construction program in general and rural roads in particular is a comprehensive and long-term program. If the authorities at all levels pay attention, deploy the direction regularly, closely and persistently in the goals, carry out the propaganda work well, make the people understand the program's purpose and meaning properly, promoting the role of ownership by participation, discussion, suggestion, contribution of labor and properties, as well as so proactively performing tasks that will achieve positive results. Therefore, the completion of the goal of all communes meeting the new rural standards in terms of rural traffic criterion in the coming time requires party committees and authorities at all levels to drastically implement and effectively build rural roads according to the proposed plan for the period of 2021-2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today TTV News. Thank you for watching and see you next time.